He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark in for Blue, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A day after the NFL schedule was released, we certainly have a lot of thoughts on that. We will talk about the NFL schedule. We'll talk about the Jaguars and the rest of the AFC South. We'll look ahead to OTAs that begin next week. There's a lot of stuff in the National Football League today as well that I want to discuss. Our AFC East preview will continue. We've already made stops in Buffalo and Miami. Tonight, it's all about Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots, as Dan Roach of WBZ TV up in Boston will join us to talk about the New England Patriots and the offseason that has been up in Foxborough. So we got a lot to do till 8 o'clock. We're glad you are with us. The PGA Championship, you'll have leaderboard updates coming up twice an hour, both hours tonight here on Hacker After Dark. And quickly on that front, you know, not that I'm the biggest golf fan in the world, but I obviously turned on the TV today, was excited to see Scottie Scheffler, was excited to see Rory McIlroy, and yikes. If you were excited to see those guys at the top of the leaderboard, you better temper your excitement. Right now, Scottie Scheffler is, four shots off the pace? Yeah, 2 under. And Rory McIlroy already winning a Players, already winning a Masters. Is Rory still 8 shots back as it stands right now? I believe he is. 2 over. The leader is Cam Davis at 6 under. And so, look, I mean, it's early. It's round 1. But for guys like me that want to see Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy in contention on Sunday, it was not a great Thursday for them at the PGA Championship. Again, you'll have leaderboard updates twice an hour here on Hacker After Dark. Guest lineup tonight. We mentioned Dan Roach up in New England, JP Acosta, SB Nation at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. And my guy, E. Dilla, Eric Dillard, fresh off the schedule release yesterday. Dilla has recovered from just massively tweeting all day yesterday. And Dilla's going to join us coming up here in less than 15 minutes. We'll talk about the schedule. We'll talk about Travis Hunter, all points in between with Eric Dillard. You know him as E. Dilla. He joins us again around 6:15 this evening. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So I'm fully aware that everybody and their brother, not only on 1010XL, but throughout Jacksonville and when it comes to the entire country, depending on what NFL market you live in, has broke down this schedule like nobody's business. So I'm not going to go through the minutia of saying this is going to be a win, this is going to be a loss. I'm going to give you just a broad overview of my thoughts on the schedule. I don't know if there's anything like a must-win situation in week number 1. But if there is a must-win situation in week number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars might have it. Because that is a winnable game. Carolina comes here. The Jaguars open up at home. Something that historically, has been pretty good to the Jaguars. Opening up at home, heck, in 2020, their only win of the year came on opening day against Indianapolis, right? So the Jaguars open at home against Bryce Young and Carolina. If there's a must-win situation in week 1, you probably need to win that. I don't expect week 2 to go very well when you go to Cincinnati. And then our friend Azeez Al-Shire comes in with the Houston Texans. Boy, what a big game in week 3. What a tone setter. Texans, Jaguars, right out of the gate, week 3, month of September. It's going to be hot as blazes. at 1 o'clock at Everbank Stadium. Christian Kirk's return, Cam Robinson's return. I guess if he makes the team, Ronald Darby's return. And yeah, the return of Azeez Al-Shire after that dirty cheap shot last year that ended the season for Trevor Lawrence. You go to San Francisco week 4, Monday Night Football, Kansas City week 5. The only primetime game as of now. I know people have said, well, they only have one primetime game. You're right. As of now, they only have one primetime game. If Jacksonville's good, who knows? Maybe they might get flexed into something later in the year. But as of now, the only primetime game is Kansas City in week 5, and I'm happy that game's at home. There have been a couple instances where the only primetime game for the Jaguars has been a road game, and that sucks. At least this game is at home. It is interesting that 4 of your first 6 are at home. You get Carolina at home, you get Houston at home, you get Kansas City at home, and you get Seattle at home, all before the middle portion of October. So if you're going to use the heat to your advantage, you have the opportunity to do that with 3 1 o'clock games before the middle portion of October. And you better enjoy those home games, because after October 12th, do you realize the Jaguars only play in Jacksonville one additional time before the month of December? They'll play in Jacksonville on Sunday, November 16th against Justin Herbert and the Chargers, the rematch of the playoff game. I don't believe the Chargers and the Jaguars have met since that playoff game. So that'll be all the talk that week. L.A. coming back into the same building that they blew a 27-0 lead in the playoffs. A lot of buildup in mid-November when the Chargers come rolling in here. But yeah, from October 7th to from October 12th to December the 7th, only one home game here in Jacksonville. In that time as well, you'll visit Las Vegas, you'll visit Houston, you'll visit Arizona, you'll visit Tennessee. That's where the season might be made or broke. 4 out of 5 true road games after the bye. Again, Vegas, Houston, Arizona, Tennessee, with a home game sprinkled in the middle against the Chargers. I think it's very bizarre that you're going to see Houston twice before you even play Tennessee or Indianapolis once. Every year, there seems to be a quirk in the schedule, a head-scratcher, and that to me is a head-scratcher. How you'll see Houston twice, you'll be done with the Texans before you even see either Indianapolis or Tennessee. You get Indianapolis twice in a 4-week stretch. 2 of your last 3 are on the road, including the Denver game on the 16th, the 16th week of the year, December 21st. At Indy, and then you wrap things up at home against Tennessee. I do like the fact that you kick it off at home on opening day and you end at home. Both the opener and the finale are at home. I like that. I don't know if that will mean anything when all's said and done, but I like the idea of opening the season in Jacksonville and having the season finale right here in Jacksonville. So, broad overview of the schedule. Interesting that you see the Texans twice before you play Indianapolis or Tennessee once. Odd, but whatever. I think it's, again, good that the Jaguars have 4 out of their first 6 at home. If you want to use the heat to your advantage, you get 3 1 o'clock games at Everbank Stadium before mid-October. Now, that might be good for the team. Will that be good for you, the fans? I don't know. It's going to be hot as nobody's business in there. Week 1, week 3, and probably week 6, which are all 1 o'clock games. Of course, the Kansas City game is also at home, Monday Night Football. So 4 of your first 6 are here in Jacksonville. But again, the concerning thing to me is after that Seattle game on October the 12th, you're home only one more time in Jacksonville until December 7th, and 5 of your next 6 are outside of Jacksonville. 1 is in London, and 4 are true road games. That, to me, is where the season's going to be made or broke. If you can survive that stretch, the end of the year is actually manageable. I mean, if you start week 12 at Arizona, then you go at Tennessee, home Indy, home Jets, at Denver, at Indy, home Tennessee, that's not terrible. Are you still going to be in contention with 6 weeks to go to pay it off there with those last 6 games? I have Jacksonville at 9-8, which would be a massive upgrade from where they were at 4-13 a year ago. I think it's a 9-8 football team. I think they're in contention for the division, and I think they're in contention for a wild card spot. I don't believe they were as bad as they showed last year. I think a new coaching staff alone helps, and I have the Jaguars in roughly the 9-win range. Subject to change. Those are my thoughts in mid-May. I like the schedule. I have some issue with the schedule, but to me, right now, as we sit in the middle portion of May, it is a 9-8 Jaguar schedule. And if they go 9-8, Liam Cohen and this coaching staff did a jam-up job in year 1. I would sign on the dotted line right now for 9-8, and I would not think twice about it. What are your thoughts? Hit me up on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Coming up next, my buddy Eric Dillard, E-Dilla on social media. It was a pretty active day for Dilla yesterday. If you follow him across all the social media platforms with the schedule release, we'll talk Jaguar schedule. We'll talk about how excited the fans are for Travis Hunter, the direction of this team with James Gladstone and Liam Cohen and Tony Baselli. We'll do that and all points in between. Eric Dillard, E-Dilla, joins me next on a Thursday evening here in the city of Jacksonville. It's Hacker After Dark right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
After taking 2 out of 3 from top-ranked Texas, the Gators try to roll the Crimson Tide. Florida, Alabama, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday afternoon on 1010 a.m.
Are you ready to step up to luxury?
Check out the power of our exciting 2025 lineup, including the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Visti.
With over 15 electric Cadillacs in stock and more on the way, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and embrace luxury with a twist.
At Randy Marion, there are no tariffs. Visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, and see why our electric lineup turns heads.
Don't miss out. Drive Cadillac, electric or gas. We have both. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resistol on approved credit.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Foods, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 15, 1941, Joe DiMaggio of the New York Yankees began his record-breaking 56-game hitting streak, singling off White Sox pitcher Eddie Smith.
Looking for a fun-filled evening the whole family can enjoy? Discover the thrill of indoor football, a fast-paced, action-packed sport where excitement meets family fun. Check out your hometown Sharks this Saturday, May 17th. Kickoff at 7. Ask about family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here, looking for a fun-filled evening that the whole family can enjoy. Our Jacksonville Sharks are back in town this Saturday. Discover the thrill of indoor football. Fast-paced, action-packed sport where excitement beats family fun. This Saturday, May 17th, kickoff 7 o'clock. Ask about our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card. All for only $100. For ticketing, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Go Sharks!
Keep your ride summer road trip ready with parts, tools, and accessories from Summit Racing. We have what you need for pre-trip maintenance, plus essentials like emergency roadside kits, tire inflators, jumper cables, boost jump starters, tool sets, and a whole lot more. So hit the highways or take the roads less traveled with confidence. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 25th, 2025. SummitRacing.com. Let's build it together.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World,
simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. We have a Jaguar schedule to discuss. Rookie minicamp is in the rearview mirror. OTAs for the Jacksonville Jaguars begin next week as this offseason continues turning right along. Boy, yesterday was kind of the official Dilla day on social media. Dilla was all over the place as the schedule was coming out. We know him as Eric Dillard. You know him as Dilla, and Dilla's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Dilla, have you recovered from yesterday?
Yeah, I'm just getting caught up on my sleep. Rough day for my thumbs. No, I'm joking. Schedule release day is super fun. Just as fun as the draft for me. It's free agent signings. It's always fun when the info gets going and I get it out to the fans a little sooner.
Yeah, it was great. And look, I mean, you're getting quote tweeted left and right by this national website and that national website. I mean, what is that like for you on schedule release day?
So now this is, I've been doing it for a couple of years, so it's a little more normal than it was initially, but it's pretty cool. I think the coolest part of the progression I've had in terms of like, news breaking. I don't want to say news because it's not important in that sense, but it's just the connections and the people I've met. A DM back and forth with everybody's favorite insiders here and there. They're always giving me my kudos now. And it's funny because back in the day when, I used to be first on something, was never acknowledged, which I don't look for acknowledgement. I think it's cool that the fans are hyped up. And I think the coolest part about it all so far is yesterday a guy messaged me and said he trusted me enough. He's an out-of-town Jags fan, and he booked the first 5 home games based off my leaks and got some cheaper airfare and hotels. So I think that's the kind of cool stuff that comes from it.
No, that's great, man. No question about it. Eric Dillerty, Dilla with us here on Hacker After Dark. All right, let's talk about the schedule first. Look, I did my predictions earlier. 9-8 is kind of where I'm at, which would be a great turnaround from last year. What is your thought overall, mile-high view about the schedule that came out yesterday?
So overall, I'm more of a sunshine and roses kind of fan until they show me there's no reason to be. I'm on the higher end. I'm feeling good. I think a 10-win season would have me over the moon. But just going through the schedule, I wouldn't be shocked if, we were able to win 12 games. I'm fully enthralled in the new coaching staff. And I think that Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, and I think he was in a continually bad situation in the past, and I think that's going to change. And we're going to see what we've all wanted to see from him. But I think the offense in itself, in the past, we sit there and we watch Jaguar games, and it's usually like mind-numbing, and we ask ourselves the same questions over and over again. And then we go home and we watch the 4 o'clock games, and we watch Sunday Night Football, and we watch Monday Night Football, and we're like, why doesn't the Jaguars offense look like those successful offenses? And I think we're going to see that now. So I'm fully pumping sunshine, and I'll give me a 12-5 Jaguars record just looking at the schedule.
That would be incredible. I agree with you, though, man. Sometimes it doesn't look like in the past the Jaguars were in the same league as some of these other NFL teams. Hopefully that's going to change here in 2025. I know the schedule just came out, but we've known the opponents for a while. I know you guys always plan a road trip or two. What is the fan base thinking as far as some of the road venues?
So in typical NFL fashion, they kind of give us the short end of the stick on anywhere that we'd like to go. So if we look at, the obvious places, we got Denver. That's, the weekend before Christmas. That kind of sucks. Nashville is the weekend after Thanksgiving. Also kind of sucks. Cardinals would be cool, but that's the weekend before Thanksgiving. So I think what we're looking at, Las Vegas for sure, November 2nd, kind of right there. After Halloween. But it's funny because even that schedule, if you're a Florida or a Florida or Georgia fan, that's Florida-Georgia weekend too. So I think you'll see a lot of people go to Cincinnati in week 2. And then after that, I think the fate will be in the Jaguars' hands. If they continue to win and the energy is excited around it, you'll see us in Vegas for sure. And then who knows, maybe around Christmas. I know I'm a retail guy. That's like a total no-no for me, but I'm sure a group of people will make a run to Denver for the obvious festivities. If the winds are flowing.
Look, and I want to get to Travis Hunter with you and talk about the rookie class as well. Final thought on the schedule. Dill, I look at week 1, man. I mean, that's a huge game. The Carolina Panthers roll in. That's a game Jacksonville probably has a decent shot of winning when you think of Cincinnati and San Francisco, Houston, and obviously Kansas City on Monday night the next 4 weeks. Boy, they need to beat Carolina, man. That's going to be a big game right out of the gate.
I think so. I mean, that's a ton-setter game. So looking at it, they'll be better than they've been. They seem like they're kind of on the right path. Bryce Young had a good end of the year. But everything you're seeing from the Jaguars is going to be new. So Jaguars, they have to establish who they are in that first game. All the words and all the fun that we hear from James Gladstone and Liam Cohen, like that's, as they often say, like we're still not on grass. So I think they obviously know the importance of it. But like you said, that's the tone setter. We got the Bengals week 2, notoriously slow starters. Got to take advantage of that. If you're, you got the Texans in town week 3 after starting off 2-0, you can make a huge statement, 3 weeks into the season, 21 whole days, to where like if we go to the West Coast and drop one to San Francisco, who cares? I said on Twitter, if the Jags come out of the first 6 weeks at 500, and then they play a good football game in London, win or lose, you come back, you got the bye, and then you're looking at an extremely weak schedule to run out the season, including, I think it's like 4 division games in the last 6. I mean, that's a huge opportunity that the Jaguars can take. And those 4 games are from the 2 weaker teams in the division on paper. So it's set up to make a run. I'm really excited with the new coaching staff. But like you said, and unless the players that we drafted that we're about to touch on perform, it'll be more of the same.
Eric Doherty, Dilla on social media with us here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. All right, Dilla, man, I gave you a ton of credit. You joined me Tuesday before the draft, so more than 48 hours before the trade happened, and you talked about calls were being made to Cleveland. Well, you were dead on, because obviously the Jaguars traded up and got number 2 and ended up with Travis Hunter. Before we talk about the actual player and what he's going to mean here, just your thoughts on the new GM, the new head coach, making a move like that right out of the gate, trading up to be able to take Travis Hunter.
And, earlier I touched on, we all the words have to match what's on the grass. James Gladstone made the words from before the draft match on draft day. So I'm over the moon with the trade. I initially never thought that they would move future picks, considering where they implied the roster or the talent level was on the roster. But I'm over the moon. I mean, I think you go get the best player in the draft at pick number 2. You give up a first overall pick, which, we make the playoffs. It's a 25th overall pick. We're looking at 3 third-round picks. The Jags can do whatever they want to do if they make the playoffs. I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, I still think you got a great player in Travis Hunter. But in terms of, did they win the trade or lose the trade? I mean, I think you get the best player and you win the trade if you're, not giving up, but a 25th or later pick. So yeah. I'm over the moon with what they did there.
Yeah, I don't get the national narrative that the Jaguars gave away a lot. And I agree. Those 2 third-rounders from Detroit, so they have 3 third-rounders next year and a second-rounder. Mm-hmm. They're still going to have 4 picks in the top 100 next year. I think Gladstone did an unbelievable job.
Absolutely. You sit back and you look at his process, and I think he hit it out of the park. He lost picks early. He traded for more picks. So we ended up drafting just as many people in the top 100 this year as we were slated to. And then he reloaded for next year with those picks that allow him to move around. But I keep reminding people, too, when you see those trades of the name brand players who are upset being traded to other teams, it always seems like it's a 3rd-round pick. So when you're sitting on 3 of those now, I'm really curious to see what the Jaguars do with the extra ones.
No, it's a good point. As far as Travis Hunter, the player, we know wide receiver. I think they're going to work him in, obviously, a DB as well. How much on defense, I think, is yet to be determined. But, man alive, I mean, I'm sure the fan base has got to be on cloud 9 with Travis Hunter, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the people who didn't want him because of the trade, like the people who weren't comfortable with giving up assets just because they're probably more cautious in their everyday life. Like, it just, you know what I mean? That's not where their thought process is at. I think even they're coming around on it. He's such a polarizing player that you don't see anything about the quarterback the Titans drafted, and you see all these graphics about Travis Hunter. And yesterday the schedule came out, and I think what was funny was it showed all the receivers he was going to be going up against when he played DB, and it showed all the DBs he was going up against when he played receiver. And that's really more what I want to talk about for a second, is because all I thought to myself was all this, CB1s lined up against Travis Hunter. In my head, I'm like, touchdown, Brian Thomas Jr. over and over and over again. And I think that's what kind of player we're getting. Someone who they're going to have to, show more attention to on the other side of the field. And they were already having to do that with our stud we got last year. So I think we got a lot of fireworks in our future, and I couldn't be any more excited.
I know it's not so quietly anymore because I'm bringing it up, but I know them down there at the Miller Electric Center, they're really high on De'Ami Brown, man. I mean, look, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter are going to get the star treatment, but De'Ami Brown's another guy that they think could make a real impact this year.
Same here. I mean, I love the pick, and it's one of those players where, like, if Trent Baalke's Jaguars signed him with Doug Peterson's offense, you're like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. It looks like every receiver they've signed in the past, maybe minus Christian Kirk. But when you look at what Cohen's offense does with screens and their efficiency when they run screens and where he found success, I mean, you got that bowling ball underneath. I mean, I've seen people compare his play style to an current Deebo Samuel, and I think that's fair. I'm not saying he's better than Deebo, but the way they play and attack the defense is very similar. So if you got someone like him bowling ball and underneath, we got all the new running backs in the stable now on top of the old guys. And then you got the two guys who, I mean, one guy truly can take it off the top, but Travis Hunter, a lot of his good comes after the QB scrambling too. And when you have a player like him who gets the ball in his hand more than he's supposed to, good things are going to happen.
Final moments with Eric Dillard, Dilla on social media. Dilla, outside of Travis Hunter, the draft pick you're most excited about?
I think I'm going to call it a tie between our third round guys. Caleb Ransaw, extremely excited to see how he plays at safety. The first time I saw him play, I just happened to watch Tulane and Oklahoma play earlier in the year, and I thought to myself, like, man, this guy's everywhere, not realizing he'd be a Jaguar in the future. And then Wyatt Millum, I mean, you draft a guy with his physique who has the flexibility on the offensive line, and he didn't allow a sack in college. The first thing he says is, I'm going to keep Trevor upright. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear. James Gladstone traded that second-round pick away, and then he hit 2 home runs in the third, if you're asking me.
You know, you look at the fan base at rookie minicamp. I mean, it was in the middle of May. It's hot, humid. It had rained early in the morning, and the Miller Electric Center was absolutely packed. I mean, what does that say for the excitement level of this fan base as we move into the summer months?
It just shows you what the city has an expectation of watching some decent football. And if you give us anything that's borderline decent, we're going to come out and we're going to support and we're going to spend time with the people we love and root on the Jaguars. And I think you're starting to feel a semblance of alignment from the front office and the fan base. Everything you wanted the front office to be in the past, we're starting to see that on paper. So if it translates to grass, I think you're going to have just two separate parties who want the same thing, Jaguar success, and everyone's going to be over the moon.
Hey, Dill, a final question, man. Look, it's not a great comparison based on what he's having to live up to because it's not much. But when you look at Gene Smith and Dave Caldwell and Trent Baalke, even if you want to throw Shaq Harris in there, I get the sense this fan base really likes James Gladstone. And the same thing with Liam Cohen at the head coach. Now, when the games start being played and if things don't go well in September and October, we'll revisit this narrative. But for the here and now, I think back to that weird Zoom press conference that Shad Khan had with Trent Baalke to where we have landed 4.5 months later. Holy cow, man. Talk about the 180-degree turn.
Yeah, so it's so funny. So think about how many times in the last 10, 15 years you've heard of the word or the term Generation Jaguar, right? We're all about 30 to 35 years old. Jaguars are the only team we've ever rooted for. We were not transplants. Our dads and moms might have been fans of another team, but we are hardcore and only Jaguars. The Jaguars ended up hiring a general manager who's the same age as us. And you're seeing that connectivity and alignment now. And the 180 we get out of it just makes it that much sweeter because we were all certain that Shad wasn't going to pull the trigger and double dip on his firings. So when he did do that, and then we look and everything we've acquired from that point to now, from the front office to the head coaches, to the players, to the schedule, I mean, everyone's just over the moon. It's funny. You tweet 18 GIFs of teams we're going to play, and people are hooting and hollering and messaging me like, oh, I can't wait. You're going to come to this game. You're going to come to this game. And over the past couple of years, it was like, yeah, whatever. We'll see what's going on. So you can feel it. It's different. Everyone's juiced. That first preseason game is going to be more full than we've probably seen in the past two. And that'll continue as long as, like I said, the Jaguars play some decent football.
Eric Dillard, Dilla on social media. Dilla, I know you're busy, man. Thank you for taking time out. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Sounds like a plan, man, and go Jaguars.
Now, a PGA Championship update on 1010XL, teed up by St. John's Middle School Athletic Association and TopDressing.com.
Most unique field, featuring a link to the folks who represent the lifeblood of the game, your local club pro. 20 PGA of America golf professionals make up the Corebridge Financial team. They earn their spot through the PGA Professional Championship, this year played at PGA Golf Club in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Tyler Cullett never had to sweat his spot at Quail Hollow. He won the PGA Professional title by a record-setting 10 strokes. Cullett is the assistant pro at John's Island Club in Vero Beach, about 15 miles away. And Blocky is back too. Michael Block, who memorably tied for 15th at Oak Hill 2 years ago, also made a hole-in-one when he was paired with Rory McIlroy, is in the PGA Championship for a 4th straight year. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
There are low prices, and then there are Kohl's lowest prices of the season. I got myself a comfy tee for just $4.99 and a stylish dress for 50% off. Then I found my husband a pair of shorts for under $17. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. Yup, it doesn't get better than Kohl's lowest prices of the season. So go check them out before it's too late. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end May 18th. See store at Kohls.com for details.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Matt and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
Of course.
Find out if he does.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today. 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Hacker here, taking you back exactly 1 year this week. I was only 9 weeks into Awaken 180 and had already dropped 54 pounds. Seriously, that's like shedding a first grader in just over 2 months. That's wild, right? Fast forward to today, 2 months into my maintenance, and I'm still down over 115 pounds. Not a pound put back on. It's like Awaken 180 gave my weight a permanent eviction notice. Now listen up. We all want to have goals, but sometimes they seem to be far-fetched. This one won't be. Dropping 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180. It's doable when you have a proven program with an excellent coach by your side. Weekly weight loss, enjoying the ride, and reaching your goal. We all did it. No reason you can't. Set your goal, make the call, and reach 40 by the 4th with the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
It's the big reveal.
Wow.
How will the Jags do this season? Listen all day for our team's thoughts on the Jags' potential wins and losses. Revealed by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. And Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
DUI? BUI? Don't stress. Call me Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Spring has sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. In for Blue till 8 o'clock. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. And thank you to Eric Dillard, Dilla on social media. We'll be getting Dilla on more and more frequently leading up to the season. And I don't know, maybe a weekly spot for Dilla in the near future here on Hacker After Dark. That's certainly something we're going to strive for as the regular season approaches. More on the NFL, more on the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up. JP Acosta of SB Nation joins me coming up at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. We will also give you a PGA Championship leaderboard update inside of the next 15 minutes. I want to get back into the NFL in a moment. Quickly to the NBA. What's been a crazy week for the NBA. We know the interesting situation with the draft lottery. Boy, you wonder what could have been with Golden State and Minnesota had Steph Curry been healthy. Golden State wins game 1 of that series. Steph Curry gets hurt, and they don't win again. Minnesota rattles off 4 in a row. The Timberwolves to the Western Conference Finals. Golden State is eliminated. We already know the Cleveland Cavaliers have been eliminated. Indiana to the Eastern Conference Final. Boy, the perfect storm is brewing for the NBA. We talked about this earlier in the week. As an NBA fan, I would love Minnesota and Indiana. But the casual fan would hate that. I mean, you'd have lack of star power for casual sports fans. But I got to tell you, I think Minnesota might be playing the best basketball in the West. I think Indiana might be playing the best basketball in the East. We got Game 6 tonight between Oklahoma City and Denver. Oklahoma City looking to close that out. Boston kept their season alive. They're down 3-2 to New York. But, of course, we know the catastrophic ruptured Achilles injury to Jason Tatum. So we'll see if Boston can go to Madison Square Garden and win another one to force a Game 7. But I think Indiana and Minnesota, man, the two teams that have already advanced, might be the best two teams right now still going. One in the East, one in the West. I would love it as an NBA fan, but I imagine the NBA would not be too keen on that idea to have a Timberwolf Pacer NBA Finals. But we'll ultimately see how it plays out. There's a lot of stuff going on around the National Football League after the schedule came out. Look, it is amazing, Denmark, and you're more the social media guy than I am. By the way, am I showing my age here that when the Jaguars sent out that video last night, at first, I had absolutely no idea who that guy was.
Anybody older than the age of 40 or 45 probably had no idea who that is.
Because I had a couple of buddies texting me, like, who is this guy, this ripped monster that was on the Jaguar feed? But apparently you're telling me is Ashton, right? Is his name?
Ashton Hall. He blew up on like Instagram and TikTok about 2 months ago, and then I found out later that he's from Jacksonville. Like, he played high school football here at First Coast, and he played college football somewhere for a little bit. But yeah, he blew up by doing this morning routine stuff, like he waking up at 3:30 and just doing a bunch of stuff. And it's more of people making fun of him. That's how he blew up. And the Jags basically got him to go into their facility and just do the same thing.
Well, that makes a lot more sense now after you explained it to me. So this guy just tracks his morning routine and puts that on Instagram?
Instagram, all the socials, yeah. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. But he's most popular on Instagram.
I have a fascinating morning routine. Maybe I'll try that and see what happens.
You would probably get a lot more views than you think you would.
Wow. All right. I got a morning routine, the constitutional, and taking, Forrest to school and everything. That'll be very exciting. Maybe I'll do that at some point.
When you do that, make sure you timestamp it. That's what made him famous. Like, he jumps in the pool at like 5:45 and then he finally gets into the water from the dive of the pool at like 5:47.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so
all right. So, but it's crazy. I mean, these teams, they've taken on a life of their own with these videos. Now, this thing started blowing up a couple of years ago, but it was like every team last night at 8 o'clock released this well-produced piece. I saw the Patriots had Dave Portnoy of Barstool doing theirs. The Jaguars had Ashton Hall doing theirs. I know the Chargers and the Titans both had awesome ones. I saw the Titans one. That was hilarious. I don't know if you saw it. You know those like ads for pharmacy or for medicine that talk about all these great effects, but then talk about these horrible side effects that they say really quick and as fast as they can, but they have to say them legally in these commercials? That's essentially what Tennessee did. It was pretty funny. It was only a 90-second one, but I enjoyed it. Apparently, the first video that I've known in a couple of years had to be taken down. I guess Indianapolis did not ask Microsoft's approval, and they might have offended Tyreek Hill, although I guess Tyreek Hill has come out and said no harm, no foul, correct?
Yes, that's correct. He thought it was funny. Everybody's soft.
Basically, it had the Coast Guard arresting Tyreek Hill, and a lot of people insinuated a lot of different things that may mean. But the Colts apparently contacted Tyreek Hill and apologized. I wonder if Jim Irsay or the Colts higher-ups, I wonder what that conversation was like with the digital team this morning when they saw the negative backlash, the negative feedback they were getting. But I enjoyed a lot of the videos. I think the Jaguars ranked in the top 10. I know there were some lists out of websites ranking these things, and Jacksonville was among the top 10 of a couple of them that I saw. Couple other NFL news and notes really quick before JP Acosta of SB Nation. News and notes outside the city of Jacksonville. You see Charles Woodson, the former Heisman winner, the Pro Football Hall of Famer. I saw he's going to buy a stake of the Cleveland Browns, and that piqued my interest, so I clicked on the story. Charles Woodson is planning on buying a 0.1% stake of the Cleveland Browns. And I'm sitting here thinking 0.1. But then when you realize the Browns are worth $5.5 billion, and it would still be over a $5.5 million investment to become a 0.1 stakeholder in the Cleveland Browns. And because it's Charles Woodson, it was certainly newsworthy. The NFL schedule makers claim that they have no knowledge of Aaron Rodgers' future plans. A lot of people were wondering that because of the fact that the Steelers and the Jets are in week 1 this year. Obviously, the Jets and Aaron Rodgers last year. Rumor is that Aaron Rodgers may sign with the Steelers this year. The NFL came out and said, yeah, we have no future knowledge of what Aaron Rodgers is doing. We just put Pittsburgh and New York together for the heck of it. And this Caleb Williams story in Chicago is wild. Now, they're saving face a little bit because it did not happen, but apparently there's a book coming out or a story coming out by Seth Wickersham alleging that Caleb Williams was thinking long and hard about going to the UFL, the United Football League, last year because he did not and his family did not want him to go to Chicago to play for the Bears. Now, at the end of the day, Caleb Williams made the decision not to do that. The rumor is he wanted to play for the Minnesota Vikings, and they were looking at ways around being drafted number 1 by Chicago, which meant flirting with the UFL, the United Football League. But Caleb vetoed those plans, said he didn't want to, quote, nuke the city. And so Chicago ultimately drafted him, and I guess the rest is harmony now with Ben Johnson there. But, man, what a story that could have been. I think the Bears did a good job kind of getting out in front of this. Ben Johnson's done a lot of interviews nationally trying to nip this in the bud. But an interesting story revolving around Caleb Williams and whether or not he actually wanted to be a Chicago Bear when the draft took place in 2024. More National Football League stuff as events warrant, but bringing it back locally to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rookie minicamp in the rearview mirror. OTAs are next week. I'll actually be out at the Miller Electric Center on Monday. I'm scheduled to talk with new Jaguar safety Eric Murray. Looking forward to bringing you that conversation Monday night here on Hacker After Dark. But let's talk Travis Hunter. Let's talk the Jaguar draft class, the offseason, and more. My buddy JP Acosta of SB Nation joins us next on a Thursday night here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark with JP Acosta of SB Nation right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Now, a PGA Championship update on 1010XL. Teed up by St. John's Middle School Athletic Association and TopDressing.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship, furnished by University of Maryland Global Campus. Two-time PGA champion Justin Thomas needed some sorcery on the closing hole. He hit his approach left of the green, inches from the creek, and close to a boulder, leading to an awkward stance, with Thomas taking off his left shoe and sock and putting his bare foot on the edge of the stream. Could he even shovel it onto the putting surface?
Thomas making rehearsals, puts the club down behind the golf ball. It makes contact, gets it onto the green. Wow, what a shot by Justin Thomas. Able to pull that off, and Thomas will have inside 20 feet left for par.
Taylor Zarza the call on SiriusXM. Thomas missed that par putt, but saved his bogey. 2 over 73 for JT. He's 7 off the lead, held by Cam Davis and Ryan Gerard, both 5 under. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Do you love the game of golf? Do you live it, breathe it, stay up all night thinking about it? As a PGA of America golf professional, you can turn your love of golf into a career. Whether you're passionate about helping others improve their game, putting innovations to work that drive the sport forward, or promoting a more equitable and inclusive golf community, earning a PGA of America membership can get you there. Join the more than 30,000 PGA of America golf professionals who love and lead the game of golf. Visit pga.com/workingolf to turn your passion into a profession.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Frank Frangie here. May is Military Appreciation Month, and Nimnik Buick GMC proudly salutes the brave men and women who serve and have served our country. As a thank you, we're offering an additional $500 off select new Buick and GMCs, and every vehicle purchased at Nimnik supports K9s for Warriors. Nimnik thanks you for your service and your sacrifice. Shop 24/7 online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Value your trade and customize your payment options in seconds. Visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
The ultimate Pink Floyd experience is back. Rick Floyd returns, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Pink Floyd's legendary Wish You Were Here album. It's Rick Floyd, May 20th at Florida Theater. Tickets on sale now at floridatheater.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and knock-and-door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here. Spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here. Rates are down. Activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y,
Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camps, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Plumbing problems, AC not blowing, septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We handle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning all under one roof. That's one call, one company, and one bill that won't give you a heart attack. For fast, reliable, and slightly ducky service, call 904-862-6769 or waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Need fresh and flavorful lunch? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durbin Park, or Butler Point at Chicken Salad Chick.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. Rookie minicamp in the rearview mirror. OTAs for the Jaguars are on the horizon as this offseason continues turning right along. Let's talk Travis Hunter. Let's talk about the Jaguar draft class. And let's look around the AFC South with JP Acosta. SB Nation, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. JP, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
JP, we're good, man. Thank you for the time. And you and I spoke a couple of times in the pre-draft process, and I don't think we ever talked about Travis Hunter, because that was never an option, right? A conceivable option at number 5. And then James Gladstone does what he does and trades up to take Travis Hunter. We'll talk about the trade in a moment, but from the standpoint of Hunter, the player, JP, what did you make of the Jaguars getting the Heisman Trophy winner?
I think it was an incredible move because the Jaguars and James Gladstone kind of telegraphed that they were wanting to make this kind of move. With all the rumors and all the reports of them wanting to add a ceiling raiser throughout this draft process. I think that's the biggest thing when I think that quote came out early April, how James Gladstone and Liam Cohen wanted to raise the floor of the team through free agency and then raise the ceiling. There's no better ceiling raiser in this draft class than Travis Hunter, a true impactful player on both sides of the ball. I think the fact that they were able to be bold and move up for him is something that I don't think I've seen from a Jaguars team in a long time. It's something that's really refreshing to see a franchise and an ownership group, not ownership group, but a managerial group back up everything that they have said, everything that they want to do. So I love their process so far, and I think adding Travis Hunter is going to immediately give them a franchise caliber player.
What does it say, JP, about a first-time general manager and a first-time head coach that literally their first time at bat in the NFL draft, the first draft pick they're ever making as members of the Jaguar organization, they absolutely swing for the fence?
I think it says a lot about what this Jaguars franchise wants to be. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned from this is the fact that they want to be bold. It's something that we haven't seen from the Jaguars in a long time, wanting to, especially from the Tons, going to be aggressive and go out and get the 34-year-old GM, being aggressive and going out and making the moves needed to go and get Liam Cohen to be your head coach. And now it all culminates in adding Travis Hunter to your team by trading up and being aggressive. So I think this boldness is refreshing, and it's a really good sign because it's not just bold for the sake of bold. You can see the process and the reasoning behind every single one of the moves that they made.
JP Acosta of SB Nation. You talk about Travis Hunter on the offensive side of the ball. Let's begin there, JP. I mean, the fact that he's going to be on one side, Brian Thomas Jr. on the other, sprinkle in some De'Ami Brown. We'll see about, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Brenton Strange. I mean, all of a sudden, there looks like there's some pretty powerful weapons on this Jaguar offense.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stands out is this offense suddenly looks a whole lot more explosive. I think last season, outside of Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk got hurt, Evan Ingram was hurt. They really lacked that second gear. They really lacked some speed in that offense. Travis Etienne was kind of up and down. But now you add De'Ami Brown, you add Travis Hunter, whose speed and body control are so reminiscent of all the great receivers that we have seen in the NFL before. And I think adding all this to the offense is going to really help Trevor Lawrence in the fact that he's been one of the best deep ball throwers in the league. So getting more guys to allow him to throw the ball downfield vertically, it should make this offense a lot more explosive.
You know, it's interesting, and it depends on who you talk to, so I'm curious your thoughts. I think pretty much everybody agrees that Travis Hunter is going to have a big impact on the Jaguar offense. There's some differing of opinion as to how much on defense he's going to play. You talk to some people and they say passing downs. You talk to some people and they say 15 to 20 snaps. And yet I talked to some people more recently that think he's going to have a bigger role than maybe some do. What's your thought on the defensive side of the ball for Travis Hunter?
Going into this process, I actually thought Travis Hunter was a better corner than he was receiver. So I'm curious about how they factor him in on that side of the ball. But if it were me, if he wants to play as much as possible on both sides, I would let him try. I would have started him out as a corner because it's a lot easier to put in a receiver, sprinkle him in on certain packages than you put in a corner on third down and everybody's like, oh, well, Travis Hunter is in. They're going to play man coverage or something like that. You know, so I think having Travis Hunter on the defensive side of the ball should help give them so much more man capabilities. But I wonder, like you said, how they're going to factor him in without giving up too much of what they're trying to do on defense.
And I've been curious ever since they drafted him. Look, physically is one thing, and we know the toll it'll be to play both sides of the ball on a pretty regular basis. To me, JP, it's mentally too, man. I know Travis Hunter's a smart kid. He's a 4.0 student, but there's only so many hours in the day. I mean, you have to know the offensive game plan, and then you have to know the defensive game plan. You got to be sitting in all those meetings. You got to know audibles and schemes and tendencies and all of this stuff. And I just, for the life of me, I don't know how they expect one man to be able to do both of those every single Sunday.
I think it's interesting what you bring up about the mental capability and the mental aspect, because that's a really tough thing to ask for a rookie who's still learning the speed of the NFL. I think there was a story that came out, I think Albert Breer from SI reported it, about how Colorado incorporated Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball mentally. And how they did it was they gave him the defensive playbook from day one, that he was going to be their day one corner. He was learning all the installs, learning all the checks and the audibles on defense. And then on the offensive side of the ball, he would just get told, like, here's what we're doing. Here's what you need to run. And they just bounce him back and forth. So I wonder if the Jaguars kind of give him the full playbook for one side of the ball. And then as the season goes on, they just continuously sprinkle, like, okay, here's what this means. If he's going to be a full-time receiver, here's what this coverage check means. Here's what this means on defense. And they continue to add him in on the other side of the ball.
JP Acosta of SB Nation. JP, I want to ask you about the division as a whole before we get there. As far as the rest of the Jaguar draft, whether it was Caleb Ransall, Wyatt Milam, Jack Kaiser, Bashal Tootin, any of the other draft picks that the Jaguars made, do they stand out to you at all?
I'm really intrigued by the two running back additions, Bashal Tootin and LaQuint Allen. And one of the things that I said after both those guys were drafted is I wonder how the running back rotation shakes out. You know, there's been a lot of rumors that Travis Etienne could be the odd man out of this rotation. I'm not sure how they want to do it. I think the Bucs carrying 3 running backs last season is probably a good sign for Etienne, but the fact they drafted 2 more guys that have a little more capability as pass protectors. LaQuint Allen is one of the better pass protectors in this draft class. He's not overly explosive, but he does sort of the dirty work as a running back. And then Bashal Tootin just brings a different gear, different level of speed. And I think that those 2 guys could really factor into the offense early because of how much 2-back personnel that Liam Cohen and the Bucks ran last year. That's kind of how Bucky Irving got incorporated into the offense. So I wonder if those two running backs can make a play on day one if they're going to be incorporated into the starting offense.
Yeah, Tootin, the fastest running back in the draft, ran a 4.32 at the combine, and LaQuint Allen out of Syracuse, as you said, very good in blitz pickup. And the guy caught 64 passes out of the backfield last year. Just an insane number of receptions for LaQuint Allen. JP, now that free agency is mostly in the rearview mirror, obviously the draft has come and gone. We're on the horizon for OTAs here. How much better are the Jaguars now than they were 4 months ago?
I think the Jaguars are better. If there's a scale of 1 to 10, as in 1, they did not improve at all, they got worse, and 10 being this a completely new team, I would say they're around like a 6 or 7. I think they've improved in a lot of big spots, especially at receiver. But I do also think this team is going to be very young on the offensive side of the ball. You're bringing in a lot of inexperienced guys. The reason for gutting the receiver room like they did was to allow the youth to kind of get their reps and earn their stripes as they play. Defensively, I think they should be a lot better. I think a lot of their issues last season were schematic and not personnel. So I think this team is going to be better than they were last year. Obviously, I think, like I said, this team is talented. It's just now, can the coaching get them over the hump? So I think this team has improved. I wonder how much they've improved, but we're going to see once the pads come on.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and that'll be right around the corner. OTAs next week, mini camp in a month, and then training camp will be here before we know it. JP, as we begin to wrap up, you look at the AFC South as a whole. I don't think I'm breaking any news here. Maybe the worst division in football, certainly in the conversation. And every team in this offseason had some interesting things happen. Tennessee with Cam Ward, but yet they didn't do all that much in free agency outside of Dan Moore. Indianapolis was very active for their standards in free agency, but they have a quarterback controversy on their hands. And Houston, a lot of people will tell you, maybe had the worst offseason in the NFL. How do you assess the South here in the middle part of May?
The AFC South is really fascinating to me because all these teams, like you said, have made massive changes or additions, but also made massive subtractions. In the Jaguars' case, they gutted basically their entire coaching staff, gutted most of the old regime's roster, but they still have their core players intact. I think Houston completely revamped their offensive line. I mean, I'm wondering how they're going to go about their offensive line additions because, it's hard to replace a guy like Laramie Tunsil in 1 year. And they were already not that great up front last season. So adding in Nick Caley, who comes from Los Angeles, should kind of help bring their offensive line up a little bit. But I wonder if that's going to be enough to help out a defense that could be one of the best in the league. I am so curious on what happens with Indianapolis. I think hiring Lou Anarumo was really smart. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. Going out and making all the free agent additions they did, like Tarvarius Ward, Cam Bynum, I think those two guys make a lot of sense for their defense, help them out especially on the edges. But again, like you said, QB controversy. We don't know what's going to happen there. And then Tennessee, I just worry about them doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm curious to see where they go this season, but there's a lot of question marks in the division, but a lot of questions that can be answered relatively easily throughout the first few weeks of the season.
Right now, and again, we'll hopefully have you on before training camp, and it'll be closer, so we'll have a better idea. But as we sit right now, middle portion of May, Kansas City and Philadelphia played in the Super Bowl in January. Are they the two favorites in their respective conferences again?
I would say Philly is. I have some questions about Kansas City. I would say yes. I think they're both the favorites. But in Kansas City's case, it's hard for me to go against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Chris Jones, and Steve Spagnuolo. And they sort of revamped their defense. I don't know if Jalen Moore is going to be the long-term answer at tackle, but I'm curious what happens with Kansas City because the margins now are so thin between them and teams like Buffalo and teams like Baltimore.
JP Acosta of SB Nation. JP, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville where they can find your work and what they can expect in the coming days and weeks.
Yeah, you can find my work at SB Nation. I am an NFL writer, football writer, honestly. I write about college football, NFL draft. We're starting on 2026 prospects, so keep an eye out for that. But see what I'm doing, see where I'm going.
JP, always appreciate the conversation, man. We'll talk again soon.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Take the straightaway at 200 miles an hour.
He's got him. Oh, they're ready to go.
It's NASCAR's All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Sunday night, NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on Jacksonville's NASCAR station 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow-ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
All right, gentlemen, we've trained for this. We've battled the elements. But if there's one thing we can't afford, it's letting the heat take us out before the big game.
But, Coach, the AC at my house is busted. I barely got any sleep last night.
Well, Johnson, you should have called Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. They're the real MVPs. Now let's cue the cool music.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 15, 1941, Joe DiMaggio of the New York Yankees began his record-breaking 56-game hitting streak, singling off White Sox pitcher Eddie Smith.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? Oh, I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
Looking for a fun-filled evening the whole family can enjoy? Discover the thrill of indoor football. A fast-paced, action-packed sport where excitement meets family fun. Check out your hometown Sharks this Saturday, May 17th. Kickoff at 7. Ask about family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here, looking for a fun-filled evening that the whole family can enjoy. Our Jacksonville Sharks are back in town this Saturday. Discover the thrill of indoor football. Fast-paced, action-packed sport where excitement beats family fun. This Saturday, May 17th, kickoff 7 o'clock. Ask about our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card. All for only $100. For ticketing, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Go Sharks!
This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. I'm here to share that the Gator Bowl is actually a year-round organization. We're known for the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl football game, which has been a Jacksonville staple for more than 80 years. Off the football field, the Gator Bowl is also host to the annual Florida State baseball game, a champion of local youth through Gator Bowl charities, and a strong networking organization of local individuals and companies through our membership. We're actually looking to grow membership, which is an affordable, fun way for you to get involved and give back to our community. To learn more, visit GatorBowl.com for more information.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the window's down. there's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
John Haney here for Clearwater. And I know I'm always joking around, but this is a serious time for our coach and our team. So if you need a sprinkler system, a French drain, or seamless gutters, and you live in Duval County, then give us a call today.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. And drainage too.
Duval.
ClearwaterJags.com.
Denny Thompson here. If you haven't heard, Tyson Sound and Security has a house built right inside their showroom, showcasing complete home automation and security systems. You have to see it to believe it. This setup can recognize intruders who approach your door and alerts them to leave if there's a break-in. Keep your family safe with the most state-of-the-art technology. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Ever wonder where your food comes from? Get back to the good old days with fresh produce delivered to you from local family farms. Subscribe today at doorbellfarms.com, connecting real people with real family farms.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. And for Baloo, glad you're with us tonight. Our AFC East preview continues. Less than 15 minutes. We've already made stops this week in Buffalo and Miami. Tomorrow night, we will end in New York. Tonight, the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel, the head coach, first year back in New England. Drake May, another year as a starting quarterback. New England spent a lot of money in free agency. As our AFC East preview continues, Dan Roach, WBZ-TV in Boston, is my guy when it comes to the Patriots. He joins me in less than 15 minutes. All right, Denmark, it is the 15th day of May. Do you know what significance that has in the college football world?
No.
Today marks exactly 100 days till the start of college football.
I've seen this on Twitter.
100 days from today, week 0. Now, I didn't know this. Now, remember, Florida State played the Ireland game last year, and they lost to Georgia Tech. Did you see, this was news to me, do you know who the week 0 game in Dublin is this year?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It's a decent game. It's a
Arizona
conference
State?
game. No, it's Iowa State and Kansas State.
Okay.
In the Big 12, we're going to kick it off on August the 23rd in Dublin. That is 100 days from today. ESPN.com put out a story, the 10 biggest storylines in college football as we are officially 100 days out. I won't go through all of them here. I'll just kind of give you the greatest hits. Can Mike Gundy and our guy Lincoln Riley, friend of the program, can they rebound based on bad years last year? Diego Pavia is back at Vanderbilt because he won an injunction. Got him another year of eligibility because they did not count his junior college against him. So Diego Pavia back at Vandy. Yeah, I like that storyline. I think Pavia was really good for Vandy. Vandy thinks they're going to be pretty good this year, by the way. The Nico Ilimaliava saga with both UCLA now where he is and with Tennessee where he left. How is that going to play itself out? You got coaches trying to rebound from horrific seasons. Mike Norvell headlines that list. Deion without Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders at the University of Colorado. They have as one of their 10 biggest storylines. Year 2 for Kalen DeBoer. You know, we talk about how big that game is for Mike Norvell on August 30th, Alabama, Florida State. Boy, that's a huge game for Kalen DeBoer, too, isn't it? Alabama wasn't exactly fired up at some of the things that went on in year 1 with Kalen DeBoer. Now Jalen Milroe's gone. They're replacing a lot of guys. That is a big game for both the Crimson Tide and the Seminoles right out of the gate. 3:30, Doak Campbell Stadium, Saturday, August 30th. The Arch Manning era begins in Austin with the Texas Longhorns. And, of course, number one, Bill Belichick, now in college with North Carolina. You know, you think about all those storylines, there are a lot of them. Coming into 2025 college football, we'll obviously dive more into each one of those as we get closer. And I'm not wishing time away. Goodness knows. I used to do that. I enjoy time now. I got some vacations coming up. I'm sure you have some vacations coming up. Enjoy your time. But just make a mental note. For college football fans here in the good city of Jacksonville, today marks officially 100 days until the start of the 2025 college football season. Back into our AFC East previews, and we've been doing it all week, one division per week leading up to Jaguar training camp at the end of July. This week, the AFC East, let's talk New England Patriots. A very active offseason, a brand new head coach in Mike Vrabel. My guy up in New England, Dan Roach, WBZ-TV, the home of the New England Patriots. And he joins me next on a Thursday evening here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us right here on Hacker After Dark.
Now, a PGA Championship update on 1010XL. Teed up by St. John's Middle School Athletic Association and TopDressing.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship. Sponsored by Wrangler. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart your day. Wrangler for the ride of life. Bryson DeChambeau couldn't get up and down at 18. A bogey caps his even par 71. DeChambeau just got chills. One hole before, he was 3 inches from an ace at the par 3 17th. Bryson is 5 off the lead. Ryan Gerard and Cam Davis shoot 5 under 66. This is a leaderboard full of less accomplished players. Right now, only 2 major champions are in the top 10. Former U.S. Open winner Matt Fitzpatrick, 3 under, 2 back. Keegan Bradley, the 2011 PGA champion, also 3 under. World number 1 Scotty Scheffler salvaging his round with 2 late birdies. It's a 2 under 69 for Scheffler. He's 3 off the pace. Rory McIlroy, 3 over. Jordan Spieth looking for the career Grand Slam, 5 over. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
When I wake up, the best mornings in the morning light start with Wrangler. I pull on my jeans and I feel alright. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local woman-owned solar company. Did you hear? JEA is raising rates again. With summer right around the corner, those power bills are only going to go up. But with solar, you can take control of energy costs and say goodbye to rising rates. At Clay Solar, we make switching easy and affordable. Stop paying more for power and own it. Visit claysolar.com to schedule a consultation today.
Yo, ET here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, Good food and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your pool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Hey there, Jacksonville. With scorching temperatures just around the corner, it's crucial to ensure your AC is blowing nice and cool. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is here to keep you comfortable all summer long. But don't wait until the heat gets here. Our service techs are ready right now to handle any cooling issues you may have at your home or business. Call Duck Duck AC today at 904-862-6769 to schedule. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Online at duckduckac.com.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Southside Kia. Online at southsidekiajacks.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Spring and summer registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball. Plus, all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. I-9 Sports with fields and gyms all over 3 counties. And the best thing is I-9 Sports offers sports year-round so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
Leon Cersei here. Let's be real. I used to eat like a lineman because I was one. And man, those habits are hard to break. I needed help to stop with the munchies and lose weight. But now, I'm bringing sexy back. I call Physician Guided Weight Loss. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a custom plan to help me slim down. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, you want to bring sexy back? Visit Physician Guided Weight Loss at pgweightloss.com. Yo, it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. We will go division by division, 1 week at a time, leading up to the Jaguars opening of training camp. And we kicked it off this week in the AFC East. We'll make stops in Buffalo, in Miami, in New York. Tonight, it's all about the New England Patriots. Brand new head coach Mike Vrabel, Drake May, another year to be the starting quarterback up there, and a very active offseason has Patriot fans thinking they might be better than some people believe. Dan Roach is our guy up in New England. WBZ TV is where you find his terrific work. They're the home of the Patriots, and Dan's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Dan, how you doing, man?
Good, Ryan. How are you? Nice to be talking some football as we get closer and closer to training camp.
Dan, we're good. I appreciate the time. I know it's a busy time for you guys up there with all the sports you cover, but let's dive into the Patriots. First and foremost, I remember the last Sunday of the regular season, we were doing our Jaguar postgame show, and we were talking about the future of Doug Peterson. And the 4 o'clock games weren't even at halftime yet when we found out that Gerard Mayo had been let go in New England. I was stunned that it happened that quickly. Take us back 4 months ago. What was your reaction? Why was Mayo one and done up there in Foxborough?
Well, I think there was a lot of optimism when Gerard Mayo took over as the next guy to go when, Bill Belichick departed. And I think it was more of like he had been a Belichick disciple, had played for him on defense, Super Bowl winning guy. So there was a lot of great things to like about him. He maybe could relate to some of the younger players because he was younger than Bill. And all that optimism was in place. And unfortunately, he didn't have time to hire a staff. So his staff was kind of given to him. And then I think just as time went on, I think everybody kind of felt like he wasn't fully prepared. And it wasn't his fault. Wasn't fully prepared to maybe be the head coach of the New England Patriots at that time. And they had a lot of issues going on around, smaller issues, but it just kind of all added up to the fact that it looked like it wasn't going to work. And I think, by the time he was let go, I don't surprised to cover the team all year. It was just kind of one of those, the players on defense were a little bit maybe perturbed at the way some of the schemes had gone, some of the coaching, some of the things that had happened. So I think they maybe felt like it was inevitable that it was going to happen. And some were surprised, and a lot of people loved him. I loved him. He was great to me, and he was great to all of us in the media. But I just think that, Robert Kraft saw an opportunity to bring in an experienced guy who had done it before, been there, done that, had made the playoffs, made an AFC championship game, had played and won 3 Super Bowls here. I think it was maybe more an opportunity to bring in a guy like Vrabel. You almost wish you could have given, Mayo a couple of years to just hang around and learn more, and then be ready for the job. So that's kind of how I looked at it and how it unfolded. And here we are with Mike Vrabel as the head coach.
Dan Roach, WBZ TV up in New England, covering the New England Patriots for us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. You mentioned Mike Vrabel. Obviously, the coaching search didn't last very long, Dan. It was a perfect match. Vrabel was available, a New England guy, obviously had a great playing career up there with the Patriots. He now comes back, and I would have to think the level of excitement in that fan base is pretty high right now.
Yeah, Ryan, when he walked into that first press conference after he was hired, it felt, and I said to a lot of people, it just felt like football was back. As I mentioned, there were a lot of issues seemingly off the field going on around this Patriots team last year. This is all about Vrabel came in, and it just felt like from day one, we're here. We're going to get you ready. We're going to get the players ready. We're going to coach them up, and we're going to go out and win. And that's kind of how it has felt on day one. And I think Mike brings a lot of those types of intangibles. And, he was loved by his players in Tennessee. He was hard on them. But I think at the same time, he's a player's coach. And he wants to bring this team together, and he knows how to do it, too, with his time in Tennessee. So I think there's a lot of optimism when it comes to what they can do. Will it be right away? I don't know, because they're seemingly turning over the roster almost on a daily basis and bringing in a lot of younger players and players that are familiar to Vrabel, like Harold Landry, who was with him in Tennessee, those kinds of players. So I think what you're going to see in Vrabel is a guy that knows the game, loves the game, will teach the game, and wants his players to be fully prepared for anything and everything and try to win football games here in New England again.
Dan, talk to us about Drake May. Obviously a good portion of his young career, some ups and some downs, but I think towards the end of last year he showed some promise. There's a lot of excitement about Drake May up there in Foxborough.
Yeah, I think you saw everything that you wanted to see out of the number 3 pick overall. I think he showed glimpses of being a franchise type of quarterback. He made throws on the run. He made throws from the pocket. He ran the football when he needed to run, maybe sometimes too much. But, you go back to the game against the Titans where in the final seconds he literally ran all over the football field down by the end zone and then finally threw a touchdown pass to Ramondre Stevenson. That was the signature play of Drake May's rookie campaign because he had the wherewithal to buy time, and then made a perfect throw to Stevenson and get the game into overtime. That was one of the glimpses that we saw of look what this kid can do with his legs, with his arm. And, he seems to be a leader. The players seem to love him. So I think he's developing a relationship. Now he's just going to get players around him, and they're trying to do that. But I think everybody looks at Drake May and says, this kid has what it takes to potentially be that franchise quarterback. And let's face it, as you know, you're constantly in the NFL in search of that one guy. That franchise quarterback means everything when it comes to winning a championship. We saw it for so many years here with Brady, And then we saw them go through Cam Newton. We saw them go through Mac Jones, and it just hasn't gotten to that point where they have found that guy. And I believe a lot of people here in this organization in New England feel that Drake May could be that guy as he continues to progress into year 2.
Dan Roach, WBZ TV, the home of the New England Patriots, with us here as our AFC East preview continues. You have a local guy from our neck of the woods, Demario Douglas, up there with New England. Nice receiver. He's had a nice little early career for himself. What is the thought about Demario Douglas heading into 2025?
I think that Pop is hoping to get an opportunity with Josh McDaniels, who's been now in his third stint as the offensive coordinator here, who fits perfectly maybe into what a Pop Douglas game could be like in the slot, making catches and moving the football with his legs. And tell you, Ryan, he's a joy to be around on a daily basis. He's just always got that smile on his face. He's always optimistic. He loves the game of football and just seemingly loved being here with the Patriots. So, yeah, I love Pop, everything about him. Now, I think the only concern around Pop is, can you keep him healthy over the course of 17 games? Because he's not the biggest of guys. He certainly has the biggest of hearts, but he's kind of one of those guys that is going to take a pounding, and you just want to keep him healthy, because if he can stay healthy, he might, really surge in this Josh McDaniels type of offense.
Yeah, we had him in studio a couple of times during his high school career here in Jacksonville, and I agree, a very, very pleasant, engaging young man. I'm really happy for the success that he's had so far. Dan, we know here in Jacksonville how active we were in free agency, and the New England Patriots were as active, if not a little more. A lot of outside free agents brought in, as you mentioned, with Mike Vrabel and this new coaching staff. How would you assess the additions to the roster?
Well, I think it was a good start, and they came out and they went and got Milton Williams. That's the big one from the Philadelphia Eagles to kind of strengthen up that defense. The defense is as good as it has been under Bill Belichick, and the one thing you thought would be great under Jerod Mayo, too, didn't really show up last year. They had a lot of issues back there, so he brings in a guy like that. Harold Landry, who I mentioned earlier, an edge type of rusher who was with him in Tennessee, knows what Mike Vrabel wants and how to play for Vrabel. I think they did a good job with that. And then Carlton Davis, they needed another corner to go along with Gonzalez, the all-pro cornerback that they have, Christian Gonzalez. So I thought there were a lot of good signs on the free agency, and then they addressed what they needed to with that offensive line, and bringing in a veteran, Moses Morgan, a right tackle who can kind of plant there. The offensive line play last year was just horrendous for this Patriots team. So they brought in a guy like Garrett Bradbury from Minnesota, who can go along with the Jared Wilson, who's a third-round pick out of Georgia, who's got tremendous upside. And then they got Will Campbell in that first round, of course, with the draft that they hope to secure in the left tackle. We'll see, because, the short arms have been a big talk around here. But I think for the most part, what they were able to do in free agency was kind of supplement and then maybe find a guy like Stephon Diggs coming off a knee injury that they hope can step in and be that number one guy eventually for them. So I think that they've kind of, mixed and matched with the younger players through the draft and with some veterans to use here in free agency. And again, it's going to be interesting to watch it all unfold here. And I think every Patriot fan would just like to see them be better in the second half of the season than they were in the first. And I think that would be step one when it comes to what Mike Vrabel's trying to do. And then who knows after that in the NFL.
Dan, as we begin to wrap up and talking to a lot of people around the division this week, the vibe I get, and look, it's not rocket science, Buffalo is clearly the favorite. A lot of questions in New York. Miami has maybe taken a step back. And there's some uncertainty about New England because they're young, but with Vrabel and all the additions, maybe New England might be that team that maybe is a little better than some think. How do you see the division as a whole?
I think there's a chance. You know what I mean? I think Buffalo, like you said, is clearly established, and they're in a win-now mode with, Allen not getting any younger. So they need to they have their window right now where they need to get to a Super Bowl. And I think, like you said, everything else is kind of like the Jets are the Jets. I don't think there's anything like, people are saying, whoa, watch out for them just yet. I think the Dolphins, as you mentioned, they continue to have problems, and they're one hit away from having to find the quarterback after what's gone on with Tua for all these years. So I think there's an opportunity here for the Patriots. And I think what Mike Vrabel brings in is the experience, having been there, done that. He brings in Josh McDaniels, an experienced offensive coordinator. He brings in Terrell Williams, an experienced defensive coordinator. So I think the coaching staff is in place. There's going to be a lot of teaching. I think they've got some young rookies that I think are going to be pretty good. Travion Henderson is a name to watch to go along with Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson in the backfield. And I mentioned the free agents that they brought in. I think that combined with Drake May in year 2, that there's a chance for them to be better. Like I said, if they can be better as the season goes on, which we didn't see last year, we haven't seen for several years, I think if they could be better as the season goes on, then they have a chance. Who knows the way the NFL is, because some years are just crazy. Some team emerges from, the depths of being a horrible team, all of a sudden a playoff contender. And the Patriots might have a chance to sneak in and be one of those teams that makes the wild card and goes from there. So I think that would be a huge win here in New England. But I think there's a better feeling about what they have as far as the coaching staff is concerned, a quarterback with some hope, and then hopefully they continue to put talent around him and maybe surprise some people that way.
Dan, final question. I married a New England girl. Her and her family have still not recovered from the Brad Marchand trade. They're still furious about that. And now the Jason Tatum injury as well. I mean, it's been good times for Boston sports fans for decades, but boy, some hard times here in the last month or so.
Yeah, I was thinking as I was driving into work today, the fact that, I'm an optimistic guy to begin with. And one thing you'd always say is, woe is us. They just won a championship in the NBA last June. That's how long the drought has been. You know what I mean? So it's been since 2019, since the Pats have won a Super Bowl. So it's not that bad, but from the sense of everything going on, the Bruins were just a train wreck after being an historic regular season team just a few years ago. And then seeing Marchand go to the Panthers hurt everybody. And then to see last night is to see what happened with Jason Tatum was just man, really? Now the talk is that if it's a ruptured Achilles tendon, and if it's, it's a bad injury, they got to break up the team because of the salary cap problems that they're going to have starting next year. So do you trade Brown? And do you blow it all up and start all over again? So, it's gone from being this confident, cocky city that's going to win another championship with the Celtics to being woe is us. What's going to happen now as we go forward? So, it's kind of the way New England is. There's a high demand up here. So tell your wife to hang in there. It'll get better. It'll be better. So just tell her to keep the faith and just keep going every single day, and we'll be good.
He's our guy when it comes to the Patriots. Dan Roach, WBZ-TV in the New England area. They're the home of the New England Patriots. Dan, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Always a pleasure, Ryan.
And thank you to Dan Roach, WBZ-TV up in New England, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark as our AFC East preview continues. We've made stops already this week in Buffalo and Miami. Tonight, New England. Tomorrow, we will end it with the New York Jets as we go one division per week leading up to the opening of Jaguar training camp. And when it comes to New England, look, a lot of excitement. As you heard Dan talk about, Mike Vrabel returning, a lot of excitement about Drake May. They were one of the most active teams in pro free agency this offseason. So although the expectations are probably not high, at least in 2025 when it comes to New England, they're a lot like we are here in Jacksonville. New head coach, young quarterback, a lot of activity in the offseason, so we'll see what happens. But clearly it looks like in the AFC East, it is Buffalo's division. But could New England surprise some people and maybe finish second in the AFC East? We certainly appreciate Dan Roach for joining us here this evening. Well, that will just about do it, man. It has been a very, very busy Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark. And for Baloo, we certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Dan Roach, WBZ-TV in New England, the home of the New England Patriots. Thank you to JP Acosta of SB Nation for joining us earlier on in the program as we talk Travis Hunter and the Jaguar draft class. And then back in hour number one, my buddy Eric Dillard, E-Dilla, on social media. Yesterday was a big day for Dilla when the schedule came out, and we certainly appreciate Dilla taking time out for us, as he always does right here on Hacker After Dark. Now, we will be back tomorrow night on a Friday, and we will do it all over again to close out the week beginning at 6 o'clock, and we do hope that you join us then. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark, on 1010XL, and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Thursday evening, and we will do it again tomorrow night to close out the week on a Friday, beginning at 6 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Now, a PGA Championship update on 1010XL, teed up by St. John's Middle School Athletic Association.